This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Well, it's going night out.
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm not your host, Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a podcast where friends talk about the Columbus crew. Today we are joined with Haas. How are you? Tip of the hat.
Tip of the hat. Doing
Trey,
good.
tip of the hat.
How's it going?
And my new husband, Michael Arace. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys. I've only been one person's husband before, so
Same.
I don't know. I
Feels
guess
good.
Thank you.
Throwing a curveball at you right off the bat. It's been all day writing that.
You're dumb.
Oh, man. So we here, Mars is out with a fever. Surprise, surprise. I'm probably going to puke in a minute. And Mort is with a bunch of boys, question mark.
Bunch of movies.
Young boys.
What movies are even out now?
VHSs from top of his closet.
Oh, I was like, movies called VHS? That's like a scary movie. Is it the new Avatar?
I'm not sure what he took him to go see, but I'm guessing because they're like 9 or 10 years old. So
I think 11, but
Wicked. They might be going to see Wicked.
I don't know.
Not at all.
Is there another
There's no
Zootopia out there?
There is
There
the
is.
second one.
Yeah.
Yes.
How old is your youngest?
18. Yeah. My oldest is 33.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's
And there's
crazy to me.
6 in between them.
Because we're like the same age, so.
I appreciate
Insanity.
that. Thank you.
Yeah. You don't look a day over 40. Well, we brought you on mainly because we've been fanboying for quite a while, and we don't really believe in a lot of the things we see with all the fake media, but we believe you, and we came here to tell you that to your face.
Well, I appreciate it. There's so much fake media out there, I hear.
Yeah.
I appreciate the support.
I'm not even convinced you're not AI, to be frank.
it's
Here
all
we are.
AI.
Well, for those who don't know, kind of give a backstory. Did you grow up in Connecticut?
I did. I'm from Hartford proper, and
Wild.
grew up in Hartford, and I started at the Hartford Current working nights on the high school desk in 1982 when I started college, and one thing led to another, and I did a lot of things there. Heading into the 90s, it was the Celtics, and then I wrote the Whalers out of town, and after that, I did 2 years of UConn basketball, and they were, I think, 65-7 with a national title, and I was like, get me back to pro sports. Yeah, I got an offer from the Dispatch to be the first Blue Jackets beat writer, and took it. At the time, my oldest was in second grade, and that was the time to move, and Mrs. Arace is always up for a new adventure, so off we went, and it's been great. I love this city. I love
Is
this
it better
city.
than Connecticut?
It's been it's just different, I mean,
That's a no. And that's okay.
I love where I grew up. I love where my kids grew up, so I'm not going to diss on my hometown. It's hurting,
Yeah, well, I was born in Lancaster, and that place is a dumpster fire. So,
yeah, that was Carl Icahn killed that town, right?
Hard to say.
He took over anchor hockey.
Basically, yeah. When the glass company went out,
they just sold it off for pieces. That was active investor, which he invented, and that's what it did to company towns. You can see it all over the place. But Lancaster is a textbook example of that.
Right.
They don't care. Yeah.
Yeah. There's still a Best Buy, if you're wondering, and I think of Bob Evans.
A couple good disc golf courses.
Yeah, true. Ever since they built the bypass, I went to OU too, so it's like I always drove through there, and I was like, ugh. But this isn't a Lancaster podcast, guys. We can make it one. 7 listeners. All right, so you were at the disc. So you came over specifically for the Jackets in '99.
That's correct.
It's crazy to think the Jackets have been around since '99 and had 2 playoff games that they've played.
No, they've made the playoffs 6 times, I think. They've won 1 series, so that's the thing. So it hasn't been a very successful 25 years. I got here a year before the team played their first season to start. Yeah,
you came in '99 and 2000 when they started.
To start writing about the Blue Jackets, and I did that for into the 2004-2005 lockout. And then handed the beat over to Aaron Portzline, who's now the mayor of Jackettville. And I became a general sports columnist and started doing quite a bit of crew. And when the Anthony Precourt came in, I was like everyone else and curious. And I remember it was 16. You guys probably remember when he had a fan survey.
Right.
And it was one of these deals where, he could read it any way he wants. And that started setting off alarms because I covered the Whalers move from Hartford. I've seen the playbook. And so when that announcement came down in 2017, I was fully on board. I think I wrote it after they announced they were exploring the parallel pass that this team's 90% gone. And it's been one of the great experiences of my professional life and also personally, given what I went through in Hartford to see Save the Crew actually save the crew. It's one of the more remarkable things that anyone will see in professional sports. That just doesn't happen.
No, not even close. So are you primarily, because I was looking like you covered basketball, you covered hockey. It seems like you're a pretty big hockey guy. Did you grow up like playing hockey?
Played some hockey, but only nothing extremely organized. Played a lot of pond hockey, but I played. Baseball was my sport through high school, and we did everything. As I said before, growing up in Hartford, there was a park that was a walk away that had an inner city tennis program that was basically started by Arthur Ashe, and that was all free. There was 27 holes, municipal golf course where, you could pay, if you were in school under a certain age, $10 to play all summer, so long as you didn't play in the morning or when the leagues went off in the afternoon. So there was everything going on. And I played a lot of different sports, baseball mostly, organized right into college. And but in terms of coverage, I'd say most of my background is when I got here was basketball, mostly professional basketball. And now it's probably mostly hockey and soccer. So I'm giving you guys a nice segue to my exit from the Dispatch.
So you just recently exited the Dispatch, right? Like recently, within the last 6 months?
That's right. September 5th was my last day, and I hung out my own shingle. I started a website, a company, Disrespected Media LLC, easy for me to say. And a website is The Disrespected. So I've been writing ever since 4 days a week, sometimes 5, sometimes 6, but you can lock in on 4, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And we're just starting podcasts. So I say we, like I have a staff, you know, I got some of my kids, but it's I just want to get to where you guys are. That's all. That's my aspiration.
Forewarning, we have made $0 in the 4 years we have done this.
We
haven't tried to make money, but we have successfully spent roughly $1,000 every year to keep this thing up and running. So it's pretty much a cash cow, as they say. I
saw some posts about you recording your first episode. How? I mean, I saw there were some maybe technical issues per Morgan or something about a soundboard.
Yeah. What happened was we had the soundboard up, and Morgan was very excited because of all the sound effects. And
he loves sound effects. He's a sound effects boy.
Oh, geez. So he had the board.
Right.
Well, it was next to him.
Mistake.
And like he was just hammering away. He loved the air horn especially, but there's a button, some computer button that was not turned on. I have no idea where it is. So when I looked at the video and began to edit it, I was like, wow, there's no soundboard. Oh, that's really too bad, Morgan. He was absolutely devastated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a subscriber to The Disrespected, is the podcast, is the plan to release through the website? I mean, all the podcast stuff, is it, you have to be a member to listen? What's the deal with that?
No, not, I haven't, to tell you the truth, I haven't figured it all out yet. I just want to start, making content and getting it available in terms of that. Right now, the disrespected.com is, you can get it for free, but you'll see just the Saturday one, which is a little offbeat, and a summary of what I did for the week. And then the Monday, Wednesday, Friday content, which is generally speaking Crew and or Blue Jackets oriented. The Crew fans have been great. Obviously, these are interesting times, as you guys have been covering on the Upper 90 Club, and I've been very busy, and the fans have been extraordinarily receptive. So there's a free tier, there's a $5 a month tier, or $80 a year, and there's a $10 a month tier, and or $100 a year. So so far so good. I do need to further monetize the site. I've been so busy. I have a lot of notes in my notebooks after doing a lot of research over a lot of months, but tell you the truth, I'm behind, and I'm behind with the podcast too. And come next year, Mrs. Arace is going to start asking me for the mortgage payment, and I'm not sanguine about my chances. So subscribe now while we still actually exist.
Yeah, I know. And the best part is if you go on in, it says no prop bet or boner pill ads.
That's right.
It's up there. So maybe you have to sell. Maybe you have to sell out. I don't know.
I'm not going to.
I only go to sites that have boner pill ads. That's just kind of the thing I do.
That's what brings you there.
Yeah, I always start out my Google searches like boner pill ads, and then I type in like what I'm looking for.
If you listen to our pod, that's our ads. Always boner pill ads.
I can't, dude. I can't give ads away for free. I've been complaining about this. I'm always like, hey guys, I'll just I hit up Jackie O's or something. I'm like, hey, I will. I didn't hit up Jackie O's. I hit up somebody, a bunch of people, and I'm like, hey, free ads. Like, just send me a vocal thing. I'll mix and master it. I love that, doing that stuff. And they're just like, no. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's just free. I'm not going to charge you anything. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I charge people, they'll start doing it.
You're just scaring me now. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, my email address is bonerpillsgoogle@gmail.com. So they probably don't think I'm legit. I'm like, I have a podcast. Trust me, bro.
They're like, okay, Nigerian prince.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the problem. But yeah, if you do need help with some of that stuff, I know a guy, and that guy is me.
Well, I appreciate it. We're scraping along here, and but it's been really exciting. Part of it is the way the newspaper industry has gone over the last 15 years or so.
Yeah.
And, part of it was, when you're working for someone else, I was working for a large company, a company I will not disparage right now. As soon as I went off on my own, it felt like there was a big weight off my back. It's like all 42 years of bullshit. And my job was great. It was great for most of those 42 years. Fantastic.
Sure.
But at this point in my life, going off on my own was liberating. It was very exciting, and it's still very exciting, even with the specter of doom in my near future.
Yeah, it's scary out there. I mean, so I graduated with the telecommunications major, and it was more like radio based, like the business side of radio and TV.
Yeah.
So I started out like trying to find radio jobs, like radio selling jobs, and a lot of people with my major did. We were TCOM management, and like I just saw over the course of time like how it changed and how people were just like, yeah, like there's no job for us in the radio realm. Like my friend sold radio ads for a CD 101, and then he was there for a long, long time, and just watching that in parallel with like any of that media that was like quasi free, but you kind of paid for it, and how people just like bypassed it. Like
everything's
world.
consolidated. Everything's consolidated now. So it's all media is big companies. I mean, it's one of the reasons I chose Ghost as my writing platform. I'm not even sure if I can, if the mechanisms are there to make my audio visual side work at Ghost, but I went with Ghost for a very basic reason. I think Substack is one of the next evil media companies, and I say that because they've been around for 7 to 10 years. They've never made a profit, and meanwhile they've had huge influxes of cash from VC companies, and sooner or later they're just going to be another data mine that's sold to one of the big tech guys. Whereas Ghost, which is the platform I chose, is still open end. It's a nonprofit, and yet every year they've been in existence, they've made a profit. They take no chunk of any of my revenues. It's easy to use. It's clean. It's elegant, and it works well. And it works well because it's not weighed down with a bunch of crap. It's really clean, and it's not evil, and that's why I chose Ghost.
Yeah, not evil is kind of a big thing. It's hard not to get, like anywhere I turn, I'm just like, God, that sucks.
You pull a string and it start rolling up pretty quickly, right?
I know.
That's the scary part. If it's not owned by somebody, it's hosted by somebody, or they get their intelligence from somebody, or whatever. It's
scary. It's all AI, and it has boner pill and prop bet ads. I just didn't want. Really, it's kind of the zeitgeist of the site. I mean, the disrespected media. The name is there because obviously the Jackets, as Bill Simmons so recently and famously said, that it's the most irrelevant franchise in professional sports.
I was going to ask you about that. I'm like super curious about your take on just the Jackets in general.
They
macro.
they haven't done anything in 25 years.
I know.
And the Crew, I mean, how much more disrespected can you get? They tried to just take your team and move it to Austin.
They turn around and win too.
That's my flyover Columbus. I mean, like how many people realize what a great city this is that aren't close or haven't been through it? It's like it's an afterthought city in some ways, and I say that as someone who knows different and loves the place dearly.
Yeah. Yeah. I always wonder about the Jackets because I'm like, I firmly believe that if you invest in the team, invest in the right ways. I mean, Crew are not perfect, and we'll get into that segment too, but like you put a good product on the field, you invest in the stadium, people show up, and all of a sudden there's like a wait list and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I remember when the Jackets were like so hard to get tickets, $1,000 tickets. Like I went and saw them. I mean, it was a while ago now, maybe like a decade ago, but even then the tickets were like $100 and some bucks. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. They were in the playoffs almost every year, 10 years ago. And they had to start with personal seat licenses, which is,
right.
Which is interesting.
Different. And those sold out, and there have been waiting lists over the years. And I think even when they were awful, not this season, not last season when they weren't awful, they just missed the playoffs by 2 points. But you saw it last season, and then the 3 seasons previous to that, as they started collecting some young players, that people were coming back here because, there were generations of hockey fans that were lost in the early years, and they came back, and they're coming back again. And it's really pure. It's one thing. It's been my feeling, and I've written about it, that 2 and 3 years ago when they were just awful and everything was a mess, there were some young players here that people are like, okay, they came to see those young players play and grow because they understood that these players had talent. And to me, that was a verification. There's the Blue Jackets, in terms of exploding on the scene, are 25 years pregnant. And when they finally birth some success, I really think there's a great hockey market here just waiting.
I know.
You can feel it.
Well, and I think you've been here long enough to get the tone of the city is, if you win, we will love you. We will support you.
Yeah, it's Ohio State. We're the Buckeyes.
Ohio State ruins that part of it. And like we're just spoiled for 11 and 2 is a terrible season, and
it is.
It is not. It is definitely not. As an Ohio State fan, it is not, and that's one reason I have pulled back a little bit from my Ohio State fandom, because pro sports give you the opportunity to play 32, 35 games and have a bigger picture on what your team actually looks like. So, I mean, and the Jackets, I think they suffer from that because you have so many games that it's hard to be, a ridiculously good team and just a winner every single night.
Right.
It's a different animal. And when we win, when the Blue Jackets are good, when they're in the playoff hunt, people show up. And when they don't, they don't.
I'm still impressed with the crowds they get. Traditionally, in this market,
so am I.
For the reasons you've already talked about, Ohio State football being the big elephant in the room. They've always been an after Christmas, their attendance starts to spike.
Right.
Yep.
But the people are always there. I go back to 2 and 3 years ago, and you look at their average attendance for awful teams. People just are almost trying to will this team to be good. Because again, I really think there's a great hockey market here, just beneath the surface, just ready to burst forth. I always cite a statistic, about their early years, and some of you guys may remember how bad they were in their early years. Maybe not. They went from 2000 to 2009 before they made the playoffs, and for 7 of those seasons, they outdrew the Pittsburgh Penguins. And people have this perception of Pittsburgh as being this great hockey market, but it's like any other American hockey market. It's like Detroit emptied out after their great years in the early aughts. Yeah. Pittsburgh, those fans won't show up unless they're winning. Or unless they draft Sidney Crosby. And it's the same everywhere. I mean, Dallas emptied out. Colorado emptied out. And I'm talking about 2 of the best teams in the Western Conference this year that could win titles. Yeah, they're packing the building now. But you go back a little bit and look at when they struggled, and you go look at their attendance figures, and I would assert that what the Jackets did with awful teams or even mediocre teams or one-round playoff teams in terms of attendance in this small market is way more impressive than the what we've seen in more fickle, larger markets for NHL hockey.
Yeah, have they operated at a loss at all? Like,
oh, sure. Most pro sports teams do.
Sure.
And the Jackets make money if they make the playoffs. At least that used to be the formula. There's other revenue streams now. The league has a good CBA in terms of the way money is distributed. So, for instance, this year the salary cap, it took them a couple years coming out of COVID, but there's going to be huge jumps in the salary cap beginning this year and really leaping over the next 3 seasons. It's going to go from what was, I think, $88 million last year to $113 million in a couple years. And so, the NHL is happily healthy. And, as far as smaller market teams like the Blue Jackets go, they're going to make money when they make the playoffs. Otherwise, it's a break even or they're in the red. But that's de rigueur throughout professional sports,
sure,
except for the NFL, because that's a completely different animal in and of itself.
Yeah,
when you have those kinds of television contracts. But if you look at, I forgot where I was going with this, boys. I was prattling on, so I lost my train of thought.
Oh, no. You brought up the NFL. Well, I have 2 more questions before we hit break. First one,
sure.
Why don't they just wear the Cannon jerseys all the time? Because it's by far the best jersey of all time. I've been to maybe like a handful of games, and I still think that's like one of the best sports. Like, I bought it. It cost like $7,000 or something wild. Yeah. I was like, I have to have this. I didn't realize like the thing they put on the front is so...
jersey?
It's actually, I don't think it is.
They're close. They're close.
I remember what I was going to say. The Crew, I mean, the Haslams haven't made money in Columbus. But the baseline for the reason why these billionaires buy these teams, there's a couple of major reasons. One of them is you can write everything off.
100%.
And actually launder money, if you want to put it that way.
I will put it that way, yes.
You don't have to tell me. I'm a United fan. They bought my club with debt and put all the debt back into the club. That was great.
What's with all these United fans? Why didn't you even come on this podcast?
Who do you follow? Do you follow
I enjoyed
an EPL
winning for
team?
20 years. It was fine.
I'm just busting. I'm a West Ham fan. I'll root for any team whose owners are a pornographer and a female underwear salesman.
Oh, sweet. So you're a United States fan.
I'm a West Ham United fan. Yes.
Terrible.
Yes, that's also true.
But the other reason is because these things don't depreciate. I mean, if you let's look at just the Crew. Okay, it was $5 million to get in 1996. It sold for what was then a record like $63 million in 2014 to what's his name? We should not say his name, right?
Right.
I don't like saying it. It sold to the Haslams for what was then in 2018 the league's buy-in for an expansion team, $150 million. The current expansion fee to get in the league is approaching what, $500 million?
Yeah,
at least.
And the Crew themselves have been evaluated, and we know this because there were estimates out there because Jimmy sold a chunk of another chunk of the team to the Edwards family because he needs cash on hand because he's still raising money for his frickin' dome. But they've been valuated at $900 million. So their $150 million investment has turned into a $900 million valuation that they can pass down to their children while they're writing everything off. And so when you hear any owner talk about they're losing money, you say
no.
You say, okay, show me your books, and then they say no.
Show me exactly.
No
habla inglés. Well, that's the last thing I wanted to ask before we hit break was the Comrade Haslam stuff on your website. kind of speak to that. What is that? And
that was
that was
a grassroots group in Cleveland, essentially a taxpayer group, who were against the giveaway to the Haslams
as they should be. Yeah.
And it's nauseating when you look around. It's just plain nauseating. When DeWine wanted to support professional sports teams in Ohio with a greater tax on sports gambling concerns. I actually thought that was a pretty good idea. He sent his budget to the House, the state House, and they said, "No, we're not going to do that. We're going to give Jimmy a $600 million bond issue," which turns out to be $1 billion. Now we're starting to talk about taxpayer money in terms of the bond, which is basically a promise that, we'll pay it back through the taxes we raise on however they're going to do it up there in Brook Park. Then it goes, the budget goes to the state Senate, and this is how much juice or what you can buy in the Senate. It's smaller than the $60 million it took to get $1 billion nuclear bailout for First Energy, but it's along the same lines. This is what you can buy in the Ohio State House. In the Senate, they looked at the bond issue and they said, "No, we're just going to give them the money. We're just going to give them $600 million and take it out of the state unclaimed funds." And boom, that's signed, and it's done. It's done. So, if whenever any owner whines at you about, I'm losing money on this team, just show me your books.
Anybody
and Comrade Haslam, that's where it comes from. Anybody
owning a team clearly is not struggling with money.
They didn't like state subsidies for billionaires, essentially is what it is.
Yeah.
I went and claimed my funds and messaged all my family members.
100%. That's what I did
before that happened.
I did too. Yeah.
I was like, I got like $70. It's still being processed. Ashley got a check for however, like 120. And I was like, oh, sweet.
That's where that comes from. Yeah. It's basically, it's a great t-shirt. I encourage everyone to buy one. And it's, I think the tagline on it is, socialism for, billionaires, and bootstrap conservatism for everyone else, or something like that.
Rugged capitalism for the rest of us.
That's it. Rugged capitalism. Yes. Yeah.
I got it. Yeah. I had it open.
Yeah. As Mars constantly states, we live in a toilet world. So anyway, we'll figure out how to make money on a podcast one day, but today's not that day. We'll be right, Trap.
A retro-inspired jersey. Yeah, that's not bad. A bootleg, yeah, that would do the job. Just for a few washes, probably. Might fit you, might not. But you know what's even better? The real thing. And that's why I started Retro Screamers. Proudly located in Franklinton, Retro Screamers is Ohio's only vintage soccer store. Our store proudly provides a space for die-hard collectors, the general fan community, and those getting into soccer for the very first time. Open most weekends and by appointment during the week, Retro Screamers provides a wide range of jerseys from across the globe, as well as housing unique memorabilia and rare items dating all the way back to the 1960s. More importantly though, the shop is a hub for the local soccer community. A welcoming and inclusive space where people of all backgrounds, identities, and yes, even rival teams can come together to share an appreciation of the greatest sport on earth. If you're interested in checking us out, just visit us online at retroscreamers.com. You can also schedule an appointment to visit the shop there as well. Also, follow us on Instagram at retroscreamers for more updates and availability on all of our new gear. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
And we're back. Thanks for sticking on, Mike. You didn't have to. Actually, during that entire break, that break was like, half an hour? We basically had a whole nother podcast I'll probably release on our Patreon. Just kidding, we don't have one. Because we don't have time for that. So you are going to have a crew podcast. The title will be...
The Crucible.
I love it.
So
better than Upper 90.
Yep.
But we drink and we have a problem, so that's how that happened. And then you're also going to have a sister podcast with the Blue Jackets called...
That's right. Cannonballs.
I love that name.
Yeah, that is a good name.
Yeah, man.
And there's one of those floating out there in the ether our test run is out there. Aaron Portsline sat down with me and we knocked one off about 3 weeks ago. I've recorded one Crucible. My plan now is I don't want to force any jumpers. Like my website, I wanted it running well, which I think it is now. And it's going to be the same thing with the audio video stuff. Is let's put some in the can. Let's get some good guests. Let's learn how to do this right, and then start rolling them out with regularity, like you guys do. I'm sure that, and it was the same way I did 2 podcasts at the Dispatch. One of them for more than 20 years, the Cannon Fodder, and the Soccer Speakeasy that Tom Reed and I started. Geez, I don't even know what the year was, but more than a decade with that. So, more than 1,000 of them. And when you miss the rhythm, like if you guys don't hit on Monday, there's people that are pissed off, or they just don't come back. So I want to make sure we can do this well and with regularity, the same way that I've been able to do my written stuff at thedisrespected.com.
Okay, but are you taking notes, by the way? What else do you do for a good podcast? Well, hold on. Let me get that up again.
I got it all on audio, video, baby girl. That's the one thing we don't do is video, because it's a lot. Doing the TikToks, man, I don't envy any of that. We were talking about that earlier. Trey and I were talking about that, and it's like, we're not on TikTok. We don't do like a lot of video stuff, which a lot of people consume.
With the Instagram.
Yeah, Haas is in charge of Instagram. I'm in charge of like Blue Sky and X, and unfortunately X is like Toilet World. And it's like, any idea that I have, I go and look, and it's like someone's already talked about it. And I'm just like, what am I going to do? Like, yeah, got him. Like, I don't know, man. It feels weird.
I hear you. I really need, I have, my 5 boys range from 33 to 23. And obviously they're of a generation that's been a part of their life. The screens have been a part of their lives. I didn't have a huge following on X when I got off, somewhere in the 5,000 to 10,000 range. But
same.
I got off. I got off because, when I was writing about stuff like Colin Kaepernick and Black Lives Matter.
Good luck with that.
I got some. It was bad, and it was the same thing with email, and I just. I got off all social then, and I just got back onto Blue Sky, earlier this year as I started ramping up to do what I do now. And, I'll have to multi-platform, and that's another learning curve for me. And, I have some people to help me that know what they're doing. And I've had a lot of great help from that's been the best part about all of this. Even before, as I was writing a business plan and starting up, there's been so many wonderful people that didn't hesitate to give me a hand. Some of them even financially, to get this thing up and running, because they believed in me, and they've read me for a long time. There are people I didn't know that just like, I want to keep reading your writing. What can I do? It's really touched my heart. It's been the best part of all of this. And I'll remember it as I go down the toilet.
Yeah, man. I don't know who's cutting onions, but I think I'm cutting onions over here.
No, really, it's been great. It's been wonderful.
That's awesome. You've been doing such a great job for so long. Being in Columbus, you're like, you're kind of the person to go to for the teams that are here in Columbus. You write for the Clippers ever? You ever cover those? Those bad boys.
I've popped in. I think I've done some Clipper stuff. The last time I tried it, I don't want to go there. When
I love the Crew. We could talk about. Give me your Crew origin story. So you came here for the Jackets. The interview part's over, but I am curious. Like, how did you? So you probably just moved over to the Crew, because you were. After the Jackets specifically, you did everybody, right? Like, you're just a sports beat writer.
I transited from the Blue Jackets beat writer to to a general sports columnist. And, it was my thought that we didn't write enough crew stuff. The Dispatch didn't write enough crew stuff. And
agree.
Soccer wasn't my bailiwick, but there's always good stories to tell about people. I don't know much now, but I really didn't know anything back then. And but there were good columns to write. And of course, so within a few years, I had my feet on the ground, and then Scalotto arrives, and so it was.
Boom.
It's always been part of. It's always been an important part of the rhythm of my years as a columnist was the crew stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's important that they have some type of semblance of another part, because a lot of the media, or I guess media, as you can say, that we consume is coming from the front office. Like we could get, emails from Issa Tall. We get, a lot of that stuff. And it's like, we don't see, we covered that last week. We don't see the other side short of like the podcast and people and like Reddit. You know what I mean? It's tough now for anyone covering any team in any sport, especially college, but the pros aren't much different. I came through the business at a time when access was right
for print media was great, and I'm sure you'd vouch for this, electronic media as well. Of course, all that changed with the internet, but COVID really changed things because if you're covering a team or even doing what I'm doing as a columnist, and you're looking for access for any reason, it wasn't like you could show up and go into the locker room. What COVID did was it put 2 or 3 players and the coach on a Zoom. Okay. And so coming out of COVID, that was for general consumption. If you were a good beat writer and you built up your phone book, you were making telephone calls too, obviously. But coming out of COVID, the even pro sports teams, not the NFL so much, but they figured out that they could control this. They figured out they did control what was being disseminated during COVID. And coming out of COVID, they kept the same playbook. So, it's okay. Now it's what players you want to talk to. So you can name 2 or 3 players, and then the coach does his thing on the podium, and that's it. And so if a player wasn't on the list, generally speaking, you can't talk to him. So it's not like you could work a locker room anymore. Like even in Ohio State's ridiculous, and they always have been, but it's gotten worse. But like, for instance, when I covered UConn basketball, the coach was Jim Calhoun. And love him or hate him, he did win, was it 2 or 3 national titles? I covered him. Mm-hmm. I covered his first national title and in 99. And one thing he believed in was a lot of access for media, because he was recruiting players who were going to play in the NBA. At least that's what he wanted to do. And so if you went to UConn and you had NBA aspirations, Calhoun was going to make sure you got a snoot full of media. And UConn basketball to Connecticut, granted a different scale, is much akin to Ohio State football in Columbus.
Especially during that time. I had a UConn jersey and hat. I loved UConn for no reason.
There was a million small outlets covering UConn, and still do. And the traveling media was called the Horde. And I've only seen one thing like it, that's the Montreal Canadiens media that covers the Montreal Canadiens. But Calhoun had a lot of access because he believed if you're going to be a professional athlete, you need to learn how to deal with the media. Now it's like, I won't name names or anything, but I got a call from someone who was on the road with a professional team. This was just in January, and this is how it is post-COVID, where he said, he gave his players to talk to them in the hall. Remember, they're on the road. And then another player comes out of the locker room and he says, "Hey, you got a minute?" And the player said, I wasn't on the list. I'm not on the list. And then walked away. So it's like, it's difficult to establish relationships now. There is some opportunity, but the point is, and I've gone on for too long about it, is out of COVID, PR figured out that they can control message more than they could before COVID, and so that's what they do. Yeah,
it is really funny you mentioning that because I'm thinking I was thinking about Steve Zirk, right?
Yeah,
the stories he has and like the access he has, and even having like Duncan Ogden writing stuff, even pretty much.
Yeah, and he's an open book too, which is great. Yes. We had the same. Long story short,
yeah.
Oh yeah, he knows everything. Yeah, so we talked to him. I talked to Micheletto, who's a Crew 2 guy. Talking to anybody in the front office or actual players is like that'll never happen for us. Like it's just not a thing anymore.
Like us,
they control everything, which is why it's even more important that like the Disrespected is around, that the Crucible's around, that like you get somebody who's like, yeah, I'm here, I'm watching it, I'm a fan. Here's what's actually happening, as opposed to like fake media AI telling me that like somebody's had a hip injury for 40 years.
Yeah. Well, I think a part of it is also that's what 99% of the public sees, and that's what they consume, is what is put out there by the team.
Right.
And, until you get closer, until you actually have an in of some sort, me, I had a family member that worked for the team, and that soured me on a lot of dealing with the higher ups and dealing with media and dealing just in general with them. And it was like, I like to talk about this team and I love this team and I love the players, past, present, future, but I'm not going to jump through 17,000 hoops to talk to somebody like just because you said so. That's the part about pro sports, that if it's not handled well by the organization, whether collegiate or pro, definitely. And the worst part about it is that, like I said, it's viewed by the mass public as like that's what they consume, that's what they see. They see the emails, they see the PR blitz, they see all the stuff without actually seeing the dirty side of it.
Yeah,
and I shouldn't say dirty side. It's the controlled side of it.
So dirty, that side.
So, I was talking about this with someone recently. There was a time when after a bad loss, the coach and or the captains would say everyone sit. You used to be able to walk into a crew locker room after the game and everyone's sitting there getting undressed, going to showers, etc.
Now we're talking.
And then you'd walk, you could walk around the room and not do a scrum. Now, even in the locker room post game, and the Blue Jackets are the same thing, there's player requests, and then there's a scrum in the locker room. So it's like I'll peel off and say, hey, X player, do you have a second? I'm curious about this, or what happened there. But it's just, again, it's just a lot different than it used to be. I don't want to sit here and whine about it because there's nothing we can do to change it. When I hear Don Garber come out, it was just within the last 10 days, and say that MLS has to be access-wise for the media more like the NBA and the NFL. I don't know if you guys saw this, because but it isn't, in part, the way he put it in the context was that this is an international league and they're not accustomed to that kind of access, but we do need to strive to be more like the NBA and the NFL. And I was thinking, he may believe that, the owners may believe that, but they won't do it, because
it sounds good on paper to say it.
Yeah,
but like the reality is like way different.
Well, to me, the biggest part of it that is just bad for the casual fan is that you get a lot of information from people when they're being candid, when you can actually have a conversation with them and they know that they're not sitting there waiting for 6 other people to talk to them and you get one question, and or it's controlled in terms of who they're going to talk to.
Yeah.
One of my and the guys all know this story, but I was introduced to Coach Berhalter when he was here coaching for the Crew. Nicest guy. And it was after a game when they used to do the pizza up in the Upper 90 Club, Heineken Lounge. And he comes over and he shakes my hand. He goes, it's so nice to meet you. It's a pleasure. What'd you think about the game tonight?
Yeah.
How'd you think the formation was?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like a genuine interaction, like with somebody, and it's like,
and he was like, I don't care, I'm Greg Berhalter. You shut up.
I totally fanboyed out, and like that's I
like
wasn't anybody.
You can have human interactions, and it's not
Right.
canned stuff. These guys all know how to talk to media and how to say nothing.
It's so
You
stupid.
need to talk to them. I'll give you a
Robot
good
time.
example. And I've actually written about this, but at Obets, at one point, you know, when Ziggy was there, for instance, you can watch the end of practice and get the players as they came off the field. There was there was requesting, but you could pick someone off as they're going to the locker room. This is when Berhalter was there. He had, and this is de rigueur now, but you know, it was coming into vogue then, where you know you don't want the media watching practice. I'm sure it's like this all over the world, and so we used to have to sit outside this gate, which had a windscreen on it, and you couldn't see in, and you didn't know how long the wait was going to be. So I'd bring out my soccer chairs, you know, out of my trunk, and this is probably Andrew Erickson at the time, and we'd sit down in the chairs and wait for the gate to open. And the gate would open, he'd walk in and start doing his thing. And I brought my chairs in one day and just sat down because I wanted to talk to Peepa. And Peepa's coming off the field, and he sits down in the other chair and basically says, I don't have a contract. I can see myself playing somewhere else in the MLS. I'm not long for the crew. Words to that effect. So, like, I'm just scribbling this down and go, keep going, you know, all right, what's up, why, you know.
Cool.
He's pissed off, you know, he's got that hot Latin thing going on, and he's basically just sounding off. He's pissed he doesn't have a new contract extension. He says he's leaving. So, like, then you do what you do. I mean, this is the job. It's like, hey, Andrew, you know, people just said this to me. I said, you know, we have to wait for Greg to come out now, you know, and so we just waited by the front door until Greg was walking to his car. So he walks out, and I said, Greg, people just said he's pissed off he doesn't have a contract extension. He's leaving. And Verhalter goes, you know, we're working on it. Take your notebook out. And then, you know, he gives his response, you know, and then it wasn't long after that he signed the extension. But, you know, it's like, but that's just dealing with real people every day, you know, showing up and doing their job.
The problem is that
now everyone does the same job, you know?
Yeah, the problem is that back then you had proper people doing the job and you're waiting for the response before you posted something. Now it's kind of like if you said something, it would be out there. So if you had a Mo Salah, it's the latest like rant right out there. Yeah. That was like throwing the coach under the bus and all that. All the damage is done on live on TV. And because of social media, like people out there, I can kind of understand this other part of it, that you kind of protect yourself a little bit because people
I get it, but as a consumer, it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I go back to, if you know that's what you're consuming, that's fine. But a lot of times that's not what a lot of the public understands that they're consuming is exactly what the front office is regurgitating to them. It's like the baby bird.
Yeah, because they like to control it. You should see like Liverpool's media person is in the background of that shot when the Mo Salah started chatting, and he's melting. He's like, oh my God, my life just, he's dying live on TV because he's like, I have to get the corporate spin on this one, right?
Mike, I'm curious for you now with the Disrespected versus the Dispatch previously, like how is that experience? Is it changed? Is it better? Are you enjoying it more? Like,
I'm enjoying it a lot because I know my wife's been telling people she didn't realize how unhappy I was until I quit my job. It's been really exciting to start something up. In terms of how I approach the job, you know, that's a very good question. I've been thinking about that. Some people have said they've noticed a little difference in my writing. You know, even as a columnist, I was careful not to just bang gongs. That my belief was, and it's the way I was raised by the journalists from the 60s and 70s, is reporting is the basis of everything. Good reporting is the basis of everything, including columns. The best columns are most often the best reported columns. You can know what you're talking about. You can have a hot take. Everyone's got a hot take. Who's in your phone book? Who's going to call? Who can you call? What nuance can you get on the background? What can you get on the record? These are all just basic tools every reporter has. And I was very conscientious about using those very same tools, reporting being a basis for the best, for the better columns based on good reporting. Since I've gone off on my own at 61 years old and after 42 years in the business, what I have felt is a little more latitude. I almost never wrote in first person, rarely used the I. Always consider that something of an affront. But I've been, I think that's a sort of a metaphor that I've been writing a little more first person just because I have decades to call back on to offer my feelings and put them in more personal context as much as anything else. So I think that's how it changed. A little more freer, a little more comfortable being myself, and a little more able to use my own experience as much as my phone book.
Does it feel like you're, I don't know the exact term to use here, but like taking the leash off, like you feel more free to ask questions maybe you weren't comfortable asking previously?
Same questions. No,
yeah.
Same questions.
Same?
I mean, look, there are questions you guys know we have to ask. I hate to put it in the realm of like national politics as a comparison, but I'll make the mistake of doing it anyway. Good. I miss George Carlin right now. I miss Hunter S. Thompson right now.
I was just gonna call you this Hunter S. Thompson of Columbus. Dang it!
I miss Stuttering John. I want to see Stuttering John from the old Howard Stern show in the White House press room.
Fitting.
Asking questions. Yeah, I mean, I want him asking the Jeffrey Epstein questions. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah. But we're the right demographic for the Howard Stern show. I'll tell you that right now. I think
there is a reticence to get deep, but I think the best reporters, you don't do it to flaunt yourself or to go viral. There are ways to put things, and if you have a relationship with someone, the subjects you're dealing with, you can ask them the question respectfully. And they'll listen and hear what you're saying, and they'll either answer the question honestly or they won't go there. And in both instances, you're learning something.
Girls, come to story time. In the great green room, there's a telephone and a red balloon.
Please don't do this. Goodnight Moon is for babies. It's a board book, dude.
Okay, fine. What's it gonna be? You guys pick.
Okay, we love this one.
Oh, A Massive Collection Volume 1 by Steve Sirk. This is the first wide-ranging collection of his work. It features long-lost stories dating as far back as '97. It has a lot of popular favorites from over the years, too.
Well, what is Volume 1? Like it's quiet?
No, it means it's like the first of a larger set.
Oh, okay, so where's the next one?
Well, it's funny that you asked that, because Volume 2 just came out. You can get it at Steve Sirk's website, sirkbook.com. It'll also be available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Links will be available at
We are not listening to you. Just go order it.
Them the breaks. I was gonna call you the Hunter S. Thompson of
not
Columbus.
Even close.
That's like what I was gonna say.
I'm the Alfred E. Newman of Columbus.
Beard and like you shoot guns outside your house like him, and like you do really cool stuff. You were played by Johnny Depp in that movie. I don't know, man. Felt like it was like right there. All right, let's bring it back to Crew to like put a bow on this whole thing.
Sure.
The one thing I wanted to talk, we started talking about this before we Trey did. Trey was trying to ruin the whole podcast earlier before the pod even got started. But we saw today, we're recording on Sunday, that the Celtic lost to St. Mirren, and they have not lost to them in 16 years.
Yeah.
That being said,
in a final.
Yeah, if you go on and I clipped all this stuff on the subreddits and like on Blue Sky and X, and it's like, dude, they.
Speaking of X,
they hate him.
Yes,
so bad. So the question I have is like with the former Celtic, it looks like he's pretty much gone. There was a couple guys on Reddit that came and said, "Hey, Celtic fan here. Here's my take on Nancy. Seems like a great guy, but like." You're on a short leash at these type of clubs. He's going to leave. My question for you guys, especially Mike, would you take him back?
Nope.
Interesting take.
No.
I don't think he's getting fired.
No, I don't think he's getting fired.
Not yet.
Really?
I don't think he's getting fired. I mean,
it's been like a week.
I don't know, Doug.
I heard that. I don't.
Let's say what if. Let's just say what if. Let's say like 2 weeks from now he's gone.
I don't think he's getting. But this notion that he's going to get fired after 3 games to me is ridiculous. Right. In fact, I think he succeeds there, and in 18 months, I've written it a couple times. I think he succeeds there, and in 18 months, he's in the EPL or League One.
That's crazy to me. You think that?
No,
I think what he's dealing with right now is getting a lot of buy-in from the team, and we saw it when he first came here as well.
They're not buying in.
No,
that's the problem.
I think it identified that. Yeah, go ahead.
Remember the whole Quentin scenario that was going on, and he was trying to figure out the back, and then you also had the Australian. Good God.
Right, sure. Yeah, well, the back line was a mess a la this season, but
Eloy Room, who just signed for
people
Miami
that are not
FC.
bad defenders.
Did he
but
really?
Not
I
good
did not know
passers
that.
of the ball.
No,
yes,
not Miami.
I see.
FC.
I saw 2 of these Celtic games, and he doesn't have players that know how to play out of the back.
No, he doesn't have players. Yeah.
No,
they're bad.
He has players that are not capable
bad.
to play his type
that league is
soccer.
better. I just looked at. I just wrote a line saying once again that this has been a disaster, but I still think he'll succeed. And I say that one reason I say that is because, and look, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve criticism in Columbus. He and/or Issa, for whatever reason you want to name. Mostly it's roster based the way I see it. But
sure.
He's the best coach I've ever seen in any sport at any level. And it's for that reason I say I believe he'll succeed and then move on to a bigger job in a bigger league. That said, if you'll notice one thing, and this is why one of you guys mentioned it, that he's bringing the players along now. That's the first thing he's doing is working on the players.
Allegedly.
But if you notice, he will never throw any player under the bus, ever.
Which is great. That's how it should be.
Dean Evison is the same way. I mean, if you notice, Elvis Berzlikins has been a disaster again. And and he hasn't thrown him under the bus. If you're going to throw anyone under the bus, it's the guy who's already halfway under the tires, But he's getting his buy-in. He's going to implement his system. And when you look at the Scottish Premiership, you're looking at, by some rankings, the 33rd best league in the world. There's not a lot he has to conquer, especially given the payroll that he gets to have over there. I don't think it's going to be extraordinarily difficult for Celtic, with all their money, to find a way with Wilfred Nancy to beat the rest of the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah, but like from what I understand, the owners are not. They're sitting on an $80 million influx of cash that they haven't spent, and they refuse to spend it. So,
I think that's the key to survival. Anyway. Yeah, that's the key to the survival. They haven't spent their money. And playing his style and sticking with it, and then make it glaringly clear that some of these people or players are lacking what he needs. There is a transfer window coming up. I think he survives the transfer window. I think he might get a couple of people in, hopefully none of ours. And I think we'll go on to better things.
Name another coach that has come into this type of schedule.
Yes, it's a horrible schedule.
absolutely insane. Like, how is he supposed to do anything with this? Like,
and implement a new system. That's the frustration that
absolutely
I hear.
insane.
And
Is
that's
that
what
like,
people
hey, we
said
have
too.
these players,
Yeah.
but that's the thing where we complained about Nazi, or when we talked to the Montreal podcast, they were saying like, yeah, he's very stubborn in what he does, kind of like Berhalter when he played, or when he had the United States national team. He had this group of players, and it's like, well, they fit and do well in a system that is not mine. And they go, and they're saying he's so arrogant where he's just like, yeah, but we're going to play my way, which I love. But in the world that I'm aware of, in the EPL, the higher ups, they don't give you a lot of leeway. They give you like a very finite amount of time to figure this out. And it's like, this seems...
He's 0 for 3.
Yeah, but
I don't think he'll. I think he'll do better, but I'm worried the damage is done.
I can guarantee you one thing: if they got him in from like La Liga or something else, to be like, oh, let him cook, like he knows what I'm doing. But because he comes from MLS, it's going to be like, oh yeah, they don't know what they're doing over there. Even though the league is on paper, the league, our league is better than theirs.
And we watched them play today. Like I asked, Mike,
MLS is like top 10 in the world, 10, 11, something.
And Scotland is like 15
30,
or 20.
30.
Yeah.
No, they're like
30. I don't know.
Insane.
They're way off. No, Mort, I think you have a good point about that. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Well, the fans only care about one thing, especially over there. They want to win.
They're Ohio State fans. They're Ohio State fans.
And that's exactly right.
No, okay. Is there a bad conference somewhere with a good team? Because that's what they. What are they?
PSG. Yeah.
No, it is one of those things that the fans over there are looking at it just purely from a win-loss perspective, and they don't know they don't care about playing a different style. All they care about is playing a winning style.
Yes,
that's it. They want to be better in Europe, but if that is sacrificing winning in the domestic league and not beating Rangers and not beating Hearts and not beating all of these other lower teams, they don't care as much. They're very inclusive to themselves.
They're Mount Union. They're the Mount Union of college football.
Yeah,
because there's like they win every damn game, but in the grand scheme of things,
at the end of the day, what is it
not very good.
I guess we'll see what was in the meat of his interviews. Either he has some guarantees, or at least some lip service paid to how he wants to do things, and some belief among the board, or they're going to listen to the fans. And I think with Wilfried, I'm betting on that he's going to get the space to do what he wants to do. And as far as his arrogance go, that's always there. He's not to say he's not a wonderful human being. We all know he is.
Right. Yeah, sure. Arrogance seems like a very pointed word.
No, it's not off. It's not off. And the way
you have to be good.
I like
the way I put it to people is and Issa has this in him too, is beautiful people. But there's a point where they know more than you do. And they know more than you do, and they
probably do.
General direction. It's just like it's a Monty Python thing. I fart in your general direction. When you hit them, when you get really deep down to it, there is that Gallic pride in them, and their beliefs that they don't surrender. No question about that. There's no question. Let me ask you guys this, and I know you kicked it around, I think 2 weeks ago, and that is that. If you're Issa, or if you were Crew GM, do you go out and get the best coach, or is continuity so important to you that you hire what is essentially a rookie? And I'll just give you a little background in this. I asked an ex-player this a couple weeks ago. I go, okay, and you know who's out there,
right?
And you know who the preferred in-house candidate is. I asked this player, I said, do you hire essentially a rookie coach to take over this team with this roster? And he said, no way. And I said, why? He goes, this team's still built to win games in MLS and aspire.
Yeah.
I don't put a rookie coach who hasn't been through the wars on that bench. Now, How do you define rookie? We can discuss that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Who do you want?
My feeling is, if I'm Issa Tall and I can work with Jim Curtin, I would hire Jim Curtin.
Yeah,
that's my feeling.
Well, and
how do you guys feel? I know you talked about this 2 weeks ago.
That's my feeling, and I'll leave it short with it, and I'll say because I want an experienced coach who's going to come in with more than just a tactical system. They're going to be bringing in a club wide system,
pragmatic.
Well, no. I mean, in terms of like, he's going to come in with what he wants to do to run the team, and he's going to try and manipulate the front office to give him what he wants to be able to do that.
That is not going to happen. They fart in your general direction. That is not going to happen.
I think he's going to.
They're going to play Nancy. They're
though.
playing Nancy ball. That's it, or some version of it. That I'm sure of.
Which is what scares me. Which is what scares me because I personally don't want to see a rookie / early in his career type of coach, such as Courtois or the other assistant,
Johan
Dement.
Johan
Dement.
Can we call him Damn It?
So,
we can call him Damn It.
No, but you guys can proceed with your non-Jim Curtin takes.
So I like the
I'm not
idea
against
of
Jim Curtin. I think he's one of the best. I am still shocked, and obviously Philly had a good season after all, but I was very shocked about that because I rate him as one of the greatest coaches in MLS.
So Philly had a good season, but it wasn't that good of a season. I didn't rate them going into the playoffs.
They won the Supporters Shield.
Well,
a lot of people win the Supporters Shield trade.
like
a lot of people support it. Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, I don't believe the Shield is better than MLS Cup, but they did have a more than good season. They had
a terrific season, and they did what you expect a Red Bull team to do. Is they lost in the playoffs.
Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. We all have different opinions. I really
by the way.
loved having someone, and I like the idea of Berhalter, and I like what Nazi brought in, where he's like, I want to play this style. It's a pretty style. It's possession based. And when we beat teams, I want to like overly beat this. Like, I don't want to have like the LAFC had this thing where they're like, listen, we'll have 30% possession. We'll play on the counter. And that's great. As a consumer, not interested, to be honest with you. Like, I don't want that.
That's very Berhalter. That's very Tim Bezbatchenko.
Right.
That's extreme. That's extreme Nancy and very much Issa. And so I think, and shifting back to Glasgow right now, I think what Wilfried sold them was exactly what was mentioned here earlier, is that, okay, this could be rough sledding in this hockey league that you play in Scotland, but we will win, and then we're going to take it onto the continent, and we will win at a continental level to a greater clip than you're used to.
If you give me the money and the full autonomy to, because that's the last thing
were like. Yeah,
exactly. So I look at this and
I don't
like,
even think it's that. I'm going to simplify it, and I'm going to say it's time. He needs time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. He needs time.
Like, there are players there who aren't playing up to the Nazi level.
They can't complete passes. This game, I've watched all 3 games.
They don't have to.
They
haven't had to.
Celtic is not my problem.
They hoof it. That's it.
I don't.
I know.
I'm
not trying to hate on Celtic. I personally don't care.
But
he's going to learn him up.
I'm not convinced. I think we've got. If he's there end of February, I would be shocked.
I will say this, only to review what you were saying, is Celtic and Rangers have the best players in Scotland. Period. And they have the best international transfers. Period. In that,
they come to Scotland.
Yes. Yeah.
They are the best of the best. The players that are on the field are not terrible players. They are not used to having to play how he wants to play, which is passing, possession, attacking to instead of playing defense. So I think Nancy, the biggest thing he wants is time. Give me time to teach these players to play my style.
I think I think he walked off the field after not the Roma game, because they were going to get pounded against Roma.
Yeah.
I think against Hearts and
Mirren.
and today against St. Mirren, I think he walked off the field thinking the same thing: is, okay, they out game plan. They can out game plan me now,
right?
Which they did. Both coaches did.
Sure.
They said basically they said, all right, here we know how to beat this team after watching.
Yeah, hit on the counter.
He said, but I will get to a point with this team when you won't be able to impose your will on me. I'll be imposing my will on you.
Yeah.
Right. If he's given the time, I think for a team like Celtic, if they I view them like the NIL, like, all right, there's going to be these really good players that don't go to these big clubs that he can poach to put in his system. Because like a Cucho, like he's injured. Well, I mean, obviously we didn't get Cucho in the Nazi system, but that was under a whole different thing. But basically, he has more money and leeway with this team to get these guys to play this system that collectively could,
I will
do
argue
really
that
well
Kucho's
in the
better
international
than anybody else on that roster right now, though.
Oh, 100%. Zawadzki would run that entire midfield. Like,
no,
Zawadzki.
dude. Go and actually look at the roster. Look who's playing on their team. Look for the national teams that they're playing with. It is considerably a better roster than the Columbus Crew.
No, I'm saying I still rate Cucho higher than most of those players on that team, even today.
Cucho, I agree.
Yes, he's playing on the Columbia team
off at
on and off, but he's one of the best world teams in the world, national teams in the world today.
Yes. No, I don't disagree with that fact. Yeah. I wanted to hate on Celtic so bad that I went and looked at the roster to look at who was playing internationally and where they were playing, and I was.
And Michael, we went back and talked to it. Is this we talked a little bit about? Is it the Nancy era or is it the Cucho era?
That's a good question. I mean, I love the conspiracy theory. I don't buy into it, but
no.
Okay. Darlington's flying to Seattle. It's July 3rd or 4th, and somewhere over Idaho or something, he decides to retire. Did he know then that Wilfried was going to be gone at the end of the season? Because he's walking away from $1.5 million.
You know that, and then he knew that he said no 3 times, right? He knows that. Nagby knows this.
They beat. I'm just saying I don't buy this theory, but it is interesting. Yeah. They come back. They put a pounding on Cincinnati down there, and then they go in a nosedive.
Normal.
So when did the other players begin to understand that Nancy was leaving? Is that when they figured it out? It's all again. I find the theory fascinating for some of the things we're talking about. I don't buy into it, but. Wilfried's gone. Was it his era in Columbus? I think it was Bez's era. I think it was Cucho's era, and I think it was Wilfried's era. I wouldn't pin it on any one of them.
You have to put Nagby in there too, right? We call it the
no question. No question.
Part of that.
I mean, I love thinking about that with no Cucho and no Darlington. Why would Wilfried stay here and try to play that way? Isn't that interesting?
Right.
Yeah.
I would even argue that Nagby's normal, like, cut of the jib style doesn't fit his system, but that's another.
I'm sorry, Nagby has been in 3 clubs and won 4 championships, so I think he's pretty big part of any championship.
I'm not saying the math is mathing. I'm just saying.
3 clubs, 4 tons.
If I'm not mistaken, one of the first hires Wilfried made when he got here was he got Johan Dame out of L.A. because they had come up. Johan had come up after him or with him in the Montreal system. So
right.
They're both coaching girls soccer, U12 soccer, or something together.
Speaking of U12, just FYI, I want to shout out. I did see today where Nagby was hired on by
OP. Yeah, I saw that too.
Really, OP? His son plays for OP. That's why.
His son and I believe his daughter too.
Yeah. No, we play this.
Coast Express.
Finn has played his son. My son has played Nagby's son in soccer. That's why.
Yeah. So
I don't know. There's a lot going on. I just wonder, it was in my brain today where it's just like, would you take him back? And it's like, man, I feel like this is like, no,
because like I don't trust come back, and she's ready to take you.
She doesn't love you. she loves Europe.
It might be popular for a little while longer again, and then
listen. If she's calling at 3 a.m., you're answering the phone. She's calling at 3 a.m.
I'm
you're
lonely.
answering that phone call.
Yeah, because you have a weak moment and you pick up
nothing else.
Yep. But once you hire,
sorry, Michael. This is the path we went down a few weeks ago. Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I personally would not want to hire him back this soon. I mean, if you're talking year, 2 year, doesn't work out at Celtic, 18 months, 24 months.
It will work out.
I'm shocked that
but I don't think
that he's just going to keep coaching for a while.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Is this going to work?
I will buy you a beer if that. I would say past, what is today? Past February, if he's still the coach.
You're on.
Opening day.
I like that.
I'll buy you one hot dog and one beer. Because
you're on.
And I'd buy you more, but it's so expensive and we don't make any money on this podcast. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I could be dead wrong, but that's what my gut's telling me. That's what my head's telling me.
You guys are nodding? Man, get out of here.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I hate him.
That's why I kind of like enjoy all the banter I have seen. For some reason now I get like Celtics, the whole Facebook
you get caught
and Instagram stuff, and I look at it and I read the comments, and I'm like, wow.
You're in the algorithm.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
100%.
You get stuck in that social media rage chamber.
No, it's a bad place to be anyways.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, and I just don't think that's of course you guys don't either, but first of all, it's not an accurate portrayal of Wilfried's situation. There's a lot of pissed off fans right now, and understandably so, that they expect
and not
to win
the front
game.
office's view on anything. 100%.
There's one guy that matters, and that's the chairman of the board, and he's the guy with all the money. He's if Wilfried's pleasing Jimmy Haslam, the Irish Jimmy Haslam, then he's fine.
Yeah.
Is this the most that Celtic has been on TV in the U.S. in the past?
In Columbus, Ohio, probably.
I mean, like,
I would say
I didn't expect to be able to watch any of it, and I think they're
probably
found
on
CBS Sports Network.
We just weren't.
They've been on, but we've been totally ignorant to it. It's all about awareness.
There's a reason no one watches the Scottish League.
Yes,
it's because it sucks.
It's not great.
I mean, fair play to them. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Hold me to it, but that's just like my opinion, man.
All right, we're on for beer.
All right. Well, how about this? Let's get the Crucible up and spinning, and we'll have you back on. Yes. We got to cut another commercial. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I know it's late. Thanks, I know it's Sunday. It's God's day, but everyone always complains that we go way too late, and I think that's pretty much what we're doing here. So, thank your wife for letting us have you for this time. And
she appreciates it.
Yeah, she's like, get out of here. Get out of here.
Right?
But yeah, you're welcome back anytime, obviously. If you have anything else to go, check out The Disrespected. Where can they find you? Give me all your thedisrespected.com. Yeah, thedisrespected.com. And I'm at michaelarace1.bluesky.social or bsky.social.
It's too long, I agree.
We've got a lot of accounts set up, and we're not using them yet, but coming soon. I really appreciate being on your show here. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed the conversation.
Oh yeah. Oh, this was so much fun. And like, they're not even going to get that 40-minute snippet in between where we're just like talking about all this cool stuff that no one will ever know about. I am setting up. I was talking to Morgan. We're going to try to set up some type of like beginning of the season, party or something like that, where we have this like long podcast with like them,
like a
like
crossover,
you guys. Yeah, we'll do all sorts of stuff. We're gonna do like a hot ones, like with some like local hot sauces and like some just local stuff and whatever. But we'll figure it out. There's a lot going on. Let's just get through Christmas for the love of God, and hopefully everybody's still employed at Celtic by February. So we always end the podcast by saying, "Go Crew."
What time is it? What time?
Thanks, everyone, for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off-season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
You think I can sell that? And so,
yeah, dude, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, is that a B?
Speaking,
what's happening?
I don't mean literally last minute, but it was late in the process of this where they threw that one out and they came up with that dog's breakfast of the CBJ logo, which is
with the hockey stick down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, lean into the Civil War with the cannon.